Alrighty, everybody, welcome into Sinister J's Holy Kingdom. And in this video today, I'm going to continue on with this. We're going to do part 3 of chapter 1. And on top of it, I want to talk about something that had happened to me just recently involving this hat. Now, lately, I rebooted the channel, and, I've been trying to, keep Jesus close to me again, like I was, a little while ago. I kind of, slightly, not so much drifted away, but I still am walking with Christ. But I'm walking down the street to my next destination where I was gonna go, and on the ledge, I walked down. I had a hat like this before. If you go back into my older videos, you can find the same exact hat, but just a different, shamrock on it. But I found this laying there, and I found a pair of, brand new shoes sitting there, and then I saw 2 bags of chips, so I took those. The 2 bags of chips usually insinuates, hey, whoever's here, take this, because they know there's homeless out here. And I don't know why, but I've seen a hat like this before in my life, but I had a hat like this with the shamrock was black, and the shade of the hat was darker gray. And then I had a friend in San Antonio who had a hat like this. And it's weird because I got a hat like this now too. So it's just like this clothing brand keeps showing up in my life. I don't know if the guy watches me. If he does, God bless him. I'm appreciative of getting this hat. Like I keep getting like clothing from this company. So yeah, it's just pretty awesome. But that's my story of how God blessed me today. And then there was moments earlier today. I was sitting there eating breakfast with other people, and they gave me some extra food. So that itself is a blessing. You just have to look at the little things in life, not the big things, and understand those are blessings. So just wanted to tell that story. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so now let's get on to chapter 1, part 3. So part 3 is the climax of creation. The Son of God. Adam is called the Son of God. There is only one other Son of God in the Bible, and his name is Jesus Christ. Man, his okay, man, his creation, calling, and communion. Yet we are called sons of God. But how? By being reinstated through the atonement of Jesus Christ. This is an important point. We are not sons of God by natural generation. Adam did not come into the world as we do. Neither did Adam come into the world as Jesus Christ came. Adam was not begotten. Jesus Christ was. Adam was created. God created Adam. He did not beget him. So in other words, accept Jesus Christ and you're a son of God. You're a son of God, and just try do your best by Jesus Christ and God. So we are all generated. We are not created beings. Adam was the son of God, and God created him as well as everything else that was created. In Genesis 1:27, we read, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. This is a point of importance. Adam and Eve are both needed before the image of God can be perfectly presented. God is, as it were, all that the best manhood presented us with, and all that the best womanhood present us with. This aspect will be dealt with subsequent literatures in subsequent literature. So, he's saying, God is the best thing that was presented to us, and God created us. So that's why God is the best thing, presented to us. God made the earth, God made us, God made Adam and Eve to help create us, and then so on and so forth. So, the 6th day work. This word, this word day, means roughly what we understand by 24 hours, and has so much meaning as of the day atonement of the day of judgment. Sorry, devotion, empirema, scientific doctrine of evolution is responsible for the endeavors to make out that the Bible means a period of years instead of a solar day. The particular unparabolic use of the term morning and evening is in Genesis distinctly indicates a solar day. Man was the climax of a 6-day week. Work in God's plan, the whole of 6 days' work of creation was for humans. The tendency nowadays is to put 6 days' work of creation above people. So people are far from more concerned about dogs and cats than being human beings. So, he's talking about here about how, you know, that 6-day work week that God ended up creating us in. God ended up creating us in that 6-day work week. It's talked about in the Bible that as the earth was created, it was the plants. I think it was the plants, and then it was man. Like we have to go back and reread it to get the understanding of it. But like it's pretty much same example right here. There's not only the tendency of exalt animals above people, but there's speculation of the Superman, which holds the human being. As we understand him, and as the Bible reveals him, is not the climax of creation, but that there is a higher being yet to be called the Superman, and that the human being as inferior to this being that it's going to be, as the ape is to the human. So, in other words, he's saying here that pretty much God is considered a Superman. They have actually said that um, people actually say Superman is considered as like Jesus Christ because he's so powerful and he's very, very much undefeatable. Of course, that depends on how you actually look at the example of Superman, but that's what they're saying. That's what he's saying here. Although the New Testament, the Spirit of God, has foretold that we are going to have the worship of man installed, and it is in our midst today, we're being told that Jesus Christ and God are ceasing to be the important to modern man and woman. And what we are worshiping more and more now is humanity, and this is slowly merging into a new phase. All the up-to-date minds are looking toward the manifestation of the Superman, a being much greater than the being we know as human. So, in other words, yeah, exactly, right there, he's saying that Superman was created upon the idea of like being like Jesus Christ, and that's what they're saying that's what he's saying here. We're waiting for that manifestation of Jesus Christ to come back and return from the dead, or no, return from heaven. So, Second Thessalonians 2, 3 through 4 gives us a picture of the head of this great expectation and the son of predestination, who oppose and exalt himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. He is to be the darling of every religion. There is to be consolidation of religion and of race and of everything on the face of the earth, a great solid socialism. The ethical standard of Superman claims to be higher than Jesus Christ's standard. The tendency is noticeably already the objection of some people to Jesus Christ's teaching, such as you shall love your neighbor as yourself. As they say that it is selfish, you must love your neighbor and not think of yourself. The doctrine of Superman is absolute, sinless, perfection. We are going to evolve a being, they say, who has reached a place where he cannot be tempted. So, he's pretty much right here. He's talking about how, you know, Jesus Christ, again, they're saying like he's like Superman. Now they made Superman a lot powerful, a lot more different. He is a version of, he'd be considered a version of Jesus Christ. But the reason he is considered above Jesus Christ is because he has more strength than Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ never really had, no, never really had strength like that. He had the capability of wiping out demons, but Jesus Christ, he was powerful with the Holy Spirit. He wasn't powerful physically. Superman is different. Superman is powerful physically. So this is an all emanation from Satan. Man is the climax of creation. He is on a stage a little lower than the angels, and God is angelic. God has, as it were, put the human beings in the open field. He is allowing the devil to do exactly what he likes up to a creation, a certain point, because he says, he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. 1 John. This is also an explanation of how our spiritual setting, Satan is to be humiliated by man, by the Spirit of God in man through the wonderful generation of Jesus Christ. So, right there, he openly says that Satan is capable of attacking us, but we're also capable of humiliating him. So, let me continue on. Humanity then is the head of and the purpose of the 6-day creation. The human body has in it its the the human body has in it those constitutes that connect it with the earth. It has fire and water and all the elements of animal life. Consequently, God keeps us here. The earth is a humanity domain, and we are going to be here again after terrestrial cremation, hereafter without the devil, without sin and wrong. We're going to be here marvelously redeemed in the wonderful place, which God made very beautiful, and with which sin has played havoc in creation itself is waiting for the revealing of the Son of God. Romans 8:19. All right, and here it goes in explaining Sabbath rest. Not only is man the head of the and climax of the 6th day work, but he is the beginning of and stands at the threshold of the Sabbath of God. God's heart is, as it were, absolutely at rest now. He has the creation, he has created man and women, even in spite of the fact of the fall and all else. God is absolutely confident that everything will turn out as he said it would. The devil has laughed at God's hope for thousands of years and has ridiculed and scorned that hope. But God is not upset or alarmed about the final issue. He is certain that humankind will bruise the serpent's head. This has the reference to those who are born again through Jesus Christ among atonement. All right, so what he's saying here is we have the capabilities of fighting against demons and taking care of rebuking demons. Like I actually posted up. I have a thing I wrote up that shows you how to rebuke a demon if you need it. I'll post it up in the community area for you guys to see. But that just basically explains, the opening part of how everything was just created and how everybody sees that Jesus Christ is like, superhuman compared to everybody else that's ever been here on the face of the planet. Jesus Christ was the only one that ascended into heaven and made it into heaven, and he was perfect and he never sinned. And when you think about it, that's got to be one of the most hardest things to deal with because we, as human beings, we sin. And it's one of the most hardest things to, not to sin. We're not perfect and we're not meant to be perfect. But by all means, try to be your best as possible. And don't let the demons get to you. Like, I rebuke demons quite frequently from people. There's a few YouTubers I see going through stuff, and I'll send them a message rebuking their demons. But it's on them to go and actually read what that whole what that whole thing says. And yeah, so yeah, that wraps that up. Tomorrow we'll be back with chapter 2, which is um that's the opening of the book. Sorry. Oh no, that was right. All right, so it's gonna break down the man of God's making, the manner of man's making, and then the man of God's making again. So I'm not sure what these are about. We'll just read through it and find out. We're gonna go into this next chapter. I like this book so far. Some things still a little cloudy on, but getting used to it, learning it through there. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll be back tomorrow for another one. And with that said, God bless you. Have a wonderful night and take it easy.